and they would pass snide comments and they would talk about my looks and my body. And I'm sitting right there and I didn't know what to do. Like, for me, I felt those four were my audience and they were judging me. And am I really that bad? Throughout the film, I was crying. I just had tears throughout my entire film.
This is more of a personal thing I'm telling you right now. Akashwani for me is like by far one of your best works. And there is a scene in the film where you and Kartik Aryan sit on a bench and just cry. There's no dialogues, nothing, just cry. So
A single
I just want you to like tell me how, like, since you were very new at that time, right? And that scene I think is more compelling to me. Matlab, yeah, your work is amazing, but that scene just stayed with me. So I just want you to tell me more about like Akashwani and the shoots and everything was completely new and the emotions you portrayed in the film.
that scene primarily for me was the toughest to do in the film. That and the marital scene.
Yeah.
But this scene specifically, I remember I on Akashvani, I just had a thing. Like you said, I was very new, I was very young. I didn't know how to really prep for such a large spectrum of emotions and also have that depth of emotions because you can never tell what a girl who's actually going through that is feeling. You know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
have to get her emotions right. I used to lock myself in my vanity and I would not get out of the vanity till I didn't actually feel like I was ready to take on this emotion.
Yeah.
Sometimes it would be 2 hours, 3 hours, the set would just be waiting. But everybody on set, from the ADs to the director to everybody, knew that this film needed that kind of prep. And if any actor, if they're not ready, then we're not shooting. So I remember this particular scene, I had again locked myself in a vanity and we were on that station and we had only those many hours to shoot, but we extended the shoot till night and I finally came out at I think 11 o'clock in the night from the vanity and I said, okay, now I can shoot. And that also, me and Karthik were very very clear that we've got to get this in the first two takes because we have to start crying together, take it to the absolute high of the emotion we're feeling, and we got to end the crying together and then walk out of the scene in the same shot in 4 minutes because the camera ka that reel is only 4 minutes mein khatam ho
Right.
jata hai wo. So we can't keep rolling whole new reels because we can't even do those takes. So technically, emotionally, we were just that scene was just very very difficult for us to do. And
And how many takes did you take?
to be very honest, we did 3 takes
Okay.
uh, on day one, and we didn't get it. We had
Okay.
to come back to that location at the end of the whole shoot again, and we had to shoot that scene again. When we came back, we did it in the first take.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, Nusrat, your journey has been very inspiring, and I've actually been seeing an interview where you talked about failure. That there came a point in your life where you actually felt like maybe it's not something that it's not happening. So
That's
now when I look at you, when maybe the girls look at you, you are such an inspiration. So I just want to ask, it's a very cliche question, but it's coming from the heart, that how it feels to finally, make it and finally be where you dreamt of.
I mean, there were so many people, not just work wise, but like in my personal family and relationships and lives, they all doubted it, they all questioned it. And I think the toughest part was to stand in front of them every day and still have that faith and unwavering confidence that no, it'll happen. But there was no certainty of it happening. Like I would say it'll happen. And the minute I would say it, I would feel something completely sink within me because I was just like, but I'm saying it, but I don't know what will happen.
Right.
And that's the nature of this industry and the nature of the work that we do. It's uncertain for the biggest of all people. Like
Right.
tomorrow I'm here. I mean, today I'm here, tomorrow I can be there. It's
You still
just so
feel it.
uncertain.
You still feel the fear.
It's, it's not fear anymore. I'll tell you the only fear I had. My fear was about the fact that I do work and it turns out to be bad work. My fear is to sit, and I've done, and this has happened to me, Akashvani. In fact, I was watching it in a theater in Delhi, and there were a bunch of four guys sitting behind me, and I was with my friend's parents, an elder uncle and auntie, and they wanted to watch the movie. So I said, you know what, I'm in Delhi for 4 days. I will take you to watch the movie. So I took them. and they didn't know I was sitting in front. And the 4 boys have had live commentary on the film with every scene and every dialogue. And they would just thrash it. And they would pass snide comments and they would talk about my looks and my body. And I'm sitting right there and I didn't know what to do. Like, for me, I felt those 4 were my audience and they were judging me. And am I really that bad? Like, so that for me is my biggest fear, that people will not like what I do and I will be,
But
I'll
you
fail
know
at
what?
that.
But you know what? If people are saying something on Akashwani, like something like Akashwani, I don't think you have to listen to people, those people, I
No,
think.
but
Because when
that
it's good.
that takes a lot of understanding and a lot of time and experience to understand that. But when you're there at that age, getting ridiculed like that, nobody's heart or ego or self-esteem or respect can take it. Like, it comes crashing down. So I think at that time my fear has always been, what if I do a bad job again? Or what if people, okay, maybe Akashvani was great and they were not the best judge of it, but tomorrow what if I do a film and if I work and they don't like me, and what if they say, you know what, she doesn't know acting at all, she's forgotten it, or I don't know, she's gotten really bad at this. I don't know. That is my fear actually. My fear is not कि अभी कल होगा कि नहीं होगा, आएगा कि नहीं आएगा. वो fear pass हो गया. We did PKP1, we did 2, we did SKTKS, I did a bunch of other films in the middle. So I kept working. At a slower pace, but I kept working. So that fear is not there anymore. I think the fear now is whether I'm going to be able to do this kind of a job at that credential, I guess, or whether I'm going to be that good at it, or I'm just going to, I don't know, come crashing down one day. I don't know.
You just don't think about it because we love you. You're so good at what you do, and trust me, you like every role. I just fall in love with you. That's like you. That's the beauty of what you put. For example, in Chalang also, I am from Haryana, and the way you were like getting that accent and everything, I just again fell in love with you. I couldn't stop.
No, I really worked hard on that accent because I felt like, let's not attempt a world and let's not attempt a character which I can't do justice to. It's same thought. I don't want anybody sitting and watching the film and saying, ये ऐसे नहीं बोलते, ये हरियाणवी नहीं है, ये लड़के शॉर्टकट ले लिया, या इसने मेहनत नहीं की, या इसको नहीं आता है. This is my fear. My fear is I don't want people to fault me at my job and my work because I put in so much, and I'm not saying I'm a perfectionist, but I feel like if I'm doing it, then I need to do justice to it. Otherwise, don't do it. Like, if I felt that I can't do this language, or during the shooting of Chalang, if I felt that I'm not able to do this right, I would have gone up to the director and said, sir, मेरे से ये language नहीं हो रही है, आप normal हिंदी बुलवा दो, चलेगा. But I don't want to do a half-baked job. That's basically where I come from.
That's so wonderful. That's like, such an actor at heart.
Yeah, I guess.
So, what's the next step? Like, struggling, getting what you wanted. Are you like, okay, or there is a next step?
I don't think the struggle will ever end. And that's what's fascinating about being here. Like I said, you could be the biggest of actors and you'd still wonder what you want to do next and what is going to be the next step, and how I think at a point it comes down to what you really are happy doing and what gives you that contentment and satisfaction of saying, I did this and I'm so happy with it. And I think you can just tell in a person's face, body language, they're just the way they are, whether they've been able to put in that heart and soul and whether they've had fun with it or not. So I know that the struggle is always going to be there. I posted a story recently where it was another very amazing question that came to me. So far, the question was, कब आएगा काम, क्या काम करेंगे? Now the question is, which is the right job to pick up? Like, I'm reading some scripts and I'm like, listen, this is a really tough decision. Which script to pick and which script to not, because they're all so good. So what do? You can't do all. You've got to pick something over another. And now that's another, big question, that what is next? So I feel like the struggle is just this is always going to be there. It's just transformed into something else. It's a new kind of struggle, but it's still a struggle.
But क्या goals बढ़ जाते हैं? Like maybe now, like you have made it to the Bollywood, maybe the Hollywood, maybe you are like maybe getting into SRK, or like क्या goals बढ़ जाते हैं?
मैं यार इतना आगे का नहीं सोचती. ये एक चीज मैंने अपने लोज ऑफ लाइफ में सीखी थी क्योंकि होता क्या है, मैं अपना अपना एक्सपीरियंस बताती हूँ. आप सोचते हो कि आप इसके बाद आप ये करोगे, फिर आप ये करोगे, फिर आप ये करोगे, बट वो आप करते नहीं हो. तो डिसअपॉइंटमेंट आप ही को होती है, क्योंकि आपने अनरियल गोल सेट किया है जो आपकी रियलिटी नहीं है. तो उस सपना उतना ही देखो जितना आपको अपनी रियलिटी का पकड़ हो. I feel like that's very important to have, especially.
Nusrat, no, I would disagree with you, because if a girl in a small town thinking about, making it big to Bollywood, अगर वो सोचे कि possible ही है तो नहीं होगा, but you made it possible, right?
I'll tell you the difference. I'll tell you the difference. She can dream about becoming an actor. That's absolutely a correct dream to have. But to dream about making it big in Bollywood are 5 steps before you actually become an actor. You get what I'm saying? Her dream, let's become an actor. I want to be an actor. Once
Yeah.
you are acting and you are doing a film, or you're in that process or whatever you're doing, then you dream that I want to make it big in Bollywood is your next step of dream.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm saying you
So the stair has to be properly climbed.
Exactly. It's a graph. You can't on the first step say, Ab, I want to be on the 10th step. Where are the beach ka 9 steps? You have to do those. That is the work you got to put in. Then if you don't get the 10th step, you feel like, oh, I'm heartbroken and what is happening? And you're putting yourself through that torture when it was not the right goal to see in the first place. I'm not saying don't dream big, but know where you are in reality
And plan
today.
accordingly.
Plan accordingly. Take those steps, take those necessary steps. You will reach there. I mean, there's nothing to say. Logo ki
Okay, so let me rephrase my question again. Are you planning to reach there? Maybe Hollywood, maybe.
There is no dream or no height that I wouldn't want to achieve. Whether I feel like I'm ready and I'm there to achieve it, I don't know. I'm just I take every film like a whole new process, like I'm learning everything again, like I'm back to zero and I'm back to scratch. And I just do that with honesty and full, like, I just put myself in it. Udhar se kahan jata hai aur kya hota hai, I leave it to faith, of course, 100%. I'm like, hoga jo hoga. I'm having fun.
Okay, so one last thing I want to ask about the Akashvani incidents you just told about the boys talking shit about you. How did you get over it, and how did you just move? Then maybe आगे भी आपको बहुत ऐसा harassment मिला होगा, and how you every time get over it and you're like, no, this is not the reality.
In that theater, throughout the film, I was crying. I just had tears throughout my entire film because I couldn't bear to hear what they were saying, and they were not.
And how was your friends' parents reacted?
They wanted to walk out. They kept holding my hand and saying, "Come on, beta, this is not okay. Please come. They're really being whatever. Let's just go." And I'm like, "No, auntie. I want to sit through this because I know I will learn something from this as well. And I want to look them in the eye at the end of the film."
Did you do that?
I did. They recognized me at the end of the film. They ran from the theater. They ran.
That's such a perfect answer.
I just turned around and I looked at them and I just looked at them. I didn't say anything. I just looked at them and my look was just like, was it really needed? I mean, if you wanted to go for an entertaining film, you should have gone for another film.
Right.
It's not like this film didn't tell you what it was. Did you really need to do this just to entertain yourself with a bunch of boys? It was ridiculous. Like, yeah, they ran. They literally just ran.
And how did you manage to, boost yourself again?
I think I came home and I called everybody that was related to the film, from my director to actor to music director to my editor to my co-actors. I called everybody and I was like, please tell me we did a kick-ass job and please tell me we are correct in what we are doing. Why is it that I'm hearing this from audiences? Please tell me those boys were wrong. So I looked for reassurance and validation, and I think that's absolutely okay to do. If you're down and out, just pick up the phone, talk to people, get your assurances, get your mind at ease. If nothing, ask for help. Like I asked all of them. I made a call to every single one of them and I said, just tell me something that I'll feel better about, because otherwise I'd just be, I don't know what would have happened. So I took all of their help.